find yourself struggling with what to charge, feeling like since you're new and maybe you don't have the same audience, you don't have the same cachet in the marketplace, you don't have the same positioning in the marketplace, that you should just charge less so that you can break into the marketplace? Well, anytime you're tempted to charge less than your competitors for an emotional reason, because that's what most of those things are, may I suggest that there is an easy way to solve that problem once and for all. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Let's go. So, and I'm also going to help you. I'm going to share the one thing that will enable you to actually charge more than your competition. And this applies whether you're selling courses, coaching, consulting, whatever it is you're selling. So here's the key question that you should be asking. And I realize as I do this, that this pricing component has two elements. It has a logical element and it has a psychological element. What this logical question does is it helps to answer the question logically as well as psychologically, okay, for you. So I encourage you to ask yourself this question: what makes the information in their program worth more than the information that will be in yours? This one question sort of derails the entire psychological process, because what you're focusing is not your sense of self-worth or anything else like that. All you're asking the question is, the information that I'm going to give them, what makes me think that that information is worth less than the information from the competitors? So here's some of the answers that may come out of that. Well, they're famous. They've got a bigger following. Well, okay, that's probably true since you're brand new in this. But here's the thing. The bigger following doesn't change the quality of the information in the course. All it does is it changes their annual sales because they got more people in their list to sell it to. So the information could very well be exactly the same quality as yours. It's just they have more people to sell it to. So that's not a reason to sell it for less. Okay, so how about this answer to the question? When you ask, what makes the information I'm selling worth less than theirs? Well, you may say, well, they've been doing it for years. Well, may I make a suggestion that actually could hurt them? Because oftentimes what ends up happening is they're using old data, old examples, old techniques of what their customers should be doing to solve the problems in their lives, as well as they're oftentimes set in a mindset that may be 10, 20 years old that very frankly is wrong or at least counterproductive today. And so actually the fact that they've been doing it for years is an advantage for you, not a disadvantage. How about this one? Well, people are used to paying them a whole lot more. Well, easy solution to that. Get them used to paying you that same amount too. Come right out of the gate charging that higher amount so that you don't have to later on justify why you're worth more now than you were before. Just tell them, hey, this is what this thing's worth, and let it be that way. Okay, now here's one that I hear people say all the time. Well, they know more, and so their program should be more expensive. Well, as we talked about a little bit a moment ago, much of that information that they have is dated. It's not addressing the latest science because they know everything. They don't need to do that research. And so they're not actually looking at the latest, best ways to doing things. Plus, another key factor is, yes, it does help to know more. Okay. Maybe they've got a PhD. You don't have a PhD, those kinds of things. And nothing wrong with a PhD, but recognize that much of the additional knowledge is not necessarily useful to the beginners who make up most of the customers that you will have. And so recognize that it takes a certain level to be able to teach people effectively who are way down the road. So coaching me, who walks on a tennis court and tries to hit a home run by hitting it over the back fence, is a totally different set of skills than coaching Serena or, somebody at that level. You've got to know a lot more to be able to coach them. You don't have to know that much to be able to coach me. You can coach me very, very effectively without having a huge body of knowledge. Also, here's something I find is that when someone knows more, they're teaching, and very frankly, this is a personal thing for me too, because I keep finding myself getting into this trap. I tend to teach more complex, and what I'm teaching becomes harder to understand, harder to implement because I know more. And so I try to teach all the different variations and how you could do it differently. And I try to explain all the reasons and the history and everything. And very frankly, that doesn't really help more. So what I want to do here is to share that one thing that enables you to actually charge more than your competition. And it has to do with what we just talked about. And that is this. They're teaching very complex, all the history, all the background, all the if you're this, then you need to do this, or you're that. And what you can do is you walk in and you say, okay, I'm going to offer you a simple solution that works in 95% of the cases. I'm not going to spend hours working on the other 5%. I'm going to give you the 95% solution because people don't need to know and understand every single thing to be able to do the system. They just need to know what to do and how to fix whatever's broken in their lives. And they need to know what steps to take to achieve the desired transformation. And so you don't need a course like my first course, which was 95 hours of content. You don't need to give them that. You give them, do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. And you can say, there's an explanation. There's reasons behind that. You don't need to know all those reasons to be able to do this. Just trust me, do these things that I'm taking you through. And so oftentimes your program that teaches them step by step how to do what they need to do to achieve the transformation in your life can be much more effective to your customers than theirs that might have a whole bunch more in it will be. You're giving them a simple step-by-step program that generates results, as opposed to giving them a 40-hour class on something that they just don't need 40 hours on. You're teaching them faster and easier to get to transformation. And here's the thing. People are actually willing to pay more for simplicity than they are. So there's a reason why if I go to my local college and I tried to enroll in a course that's going to be meeting 3 times a week for 13 weeks, so that's 3 hours a week times 13, so 50 hours worth of content, they're going to charge me $600 to $1,200. If I take your course, you're going to charge me $2,000. You're going to charge me more. Why? Because you're going to show me step by step, quickly, easily, how to get there. I don't need to know all the background that a college course is going to teach me. Again, nothing against college courses. I'm just saying this is a piece of positioning for you. I'm going to teach you how to get there faster and better. And oftentimes, very frankly, it takes a newbie to give them that, because the people who are deeply embedded in the world and the knowledge don't have the ability to see the quick and easy way to get there. And so you're coming in with fresh eyes. You're coming in thinking like your customer is thinking. You're coming in understanding the latest and the best science that has been discovered. You're not going after things that are many decades old. And again, you don't need to explain everything. You just need to give them the system that will change their life. Help them understand that in your marketing. Help them understand that you're giving them faster and better. And then you won't have to cut your price to get them to buy. They'll willingly want to buy because you're going to get them faster and easier. And in the process, you're going to create an amazing business for yourself without having to discount your price. There you go. Simple, easy solution. There are reasons why it is worth it, especially when you're just starting, to charge equal to the higher end of the marketplace. Don't come in trying to charge more. It almost never works. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.